It's the Friday Challenge! Today's challenge was brought to you by Fat Guy Fungi, Bay of Plenty's premium grower of mushrooms, experienced in supplying quality mushrooms to restaurants and the general public. Now enjoy today's challenge.
Morning, a happy Friday! Today's Friday challenge is ever so kindly sponsored to us by Fat Guy Fungi. This is our friend Tony from Alice's restaurant, Alice's Mushrooms. I don't know, it's got a few different names going on. But Tony, Fat Guy Fungi, is basically the supplier. He grows these mushrooms and he grows all sorts of incredible mushrooms with Shiitake, these Enoki, beautiful big pink oyster, grey oyster there, and these are called pickle something, I can't remember. I have to look it up. Absolutely stunning mushrooms, and today's challenge is mushroom dish. I've decided to go very simple mushroom dish. I've got beautiful mushrooms, I've got beautiful fresh angel hair pasta from another local supplier, parmesan, I've got some pepper on me, some man grind, and I've got some butter, and that is all I'm going to use. And we are going to make the most beautiful peppery mushroom pasta. I might add a splash of cream at the end, and I might not, I'm not sure. I'm going to use, I think, a little bit of all of these mushrooms. Just take a little chunk of these, some of these for sure. Okay, so I've got a pot of water onto the boil. I'll just add some man grind in there. A couple of shiitake, grey oyster. God, they're just beautifully, absolutely stunning, aren't they? They look like coral. I'm going to start with some pepper in my pan. I'm going to use a lot of pepper. So on your pepper and meat grinder, that's the white bit. That's like a gauge. Open it right up, like loosen it right up so that you get big chunks of pepper when you're grinding. And I'm going to use like 2 tablespoons, maybe 2 teaspoons. Put it on a low heat. We're going to toast that. Beautiful coloured peppercorns. Slice the shiitake. It's smelling so good. Toasty pepper is such a good smell. And these enoki, I'm just going to toss through at the very end. They're not going to need much. This is my favourite mushroom, like your ramen mushroom. Absolutely love it. Take that off and eat. Put the butter into the toasted peppercorns. Just going to leave it off the heat for a little bit. Okay, butter's melting and those beautiful toasty peppercorns. Make sure you don't burn them. I haven't burnt mine. Don't cop a lungful either. You water it next door and your pot should be almost at the boil. This pasta takes 3 minutes to cook, and your mushrooms should take about 3 minutes to cook. So you want to put your pasta in the boiling water at the same time you put your mushrooms into your butter. Okay, mushrooms in, pasta in, a little bit of man grind. Get your parmesan ready while that's cooking. Using my nice Kitco microplane. Use pecorino actually. Good, great. Looking good, smelling good. This has started to 3/4 cooked. Just take some of your pasta water, add a splash into your mushrooms, deglaze that pan. Beautiful. Okay, add your enoki. Absolutely gorgeous. More pasta water. Okay, when your pasta's like 30 seconds away from being done, add your parmesan. Oh yes, that's on. So on. That beautiful sauce that we've got for the pasta to go into. Pasta cooked, and then into your sauce. Just going to add some herbs to finish it off. It's looking beautiful. Parmesan and pasta water forms the most beautiful sauce. I've just got some thyme and some parsley. That'll go really nicely with the pepper and more cheese. If it needs more sauce, just add a splash more pasta water and a little bit more parmesan. Okay, check your seasoning. Might need a little bit more parmesan. Probably not, because I put half a block in. Very nice pasta swirls like the chefs on TV. Okay, yum. Oh. Just make sure you've got enough cheese, because you might not have enough cheese. You can never be sure until you're sure. Parsley brings a nice bit of freshness. Mushroom cashew e pepe with the most divine mushrooms from Fat Guy Fungi. This is the business. This is the best thing you can ever eat. It's just mushrooms, cheese and pasta and pepper, which are the best things. Yum.
Happy Friday. Welcome back to another challenge. Today we're cooking with mushrooms thanks to our mate Tony. He's actually fired us a whole bunch of different kinds of mushrooms to cook along with. So what we've got here, we've got some shiitake, pretty sure shiitake mushrooms, enoki, there you go, oyster. Look at that beautiful colour. So what I thought I'd do today is just create a pretty simple tempura batter and fry them all up, serve them up with some of our great sauces that we have, like hot nuts, sesh oil, sriracha mayo. There's a whole fleet of great sauces that we have here. Do something real simple and showcase those. What you're going to need is, I'm going to use potato starch. keep it gluten free. You can use rice flour, or you can actually probably use normal flour, but I think the whole idea around the tempura is to make it a lot lighter. Soda water, and if you have baking powder or baking soda, it does help. I don't think we do, so I'll probably just try some baking powder and see if it works. But anyway, what we're gonna do first is create our batter. Actually, no, what we're gonna do first is get oil on, get it heating up. So we'll get that nice and hot anyway. Then we're gonna dice up our mushrooms with our Canonable Ezekiel today. Put those in there. I might just fry them like this. So roughly dice all those up. Cup of potato starch, heaped teaspoon of baking powder. I actually want soda. Found some. Heaped teaspoon of baking soda. Add some soda water. Just mix the batter. So you want to use cold soda water too. Sprinkle of man grind. So I had to add a little bit more potato starch, but anyway, let's start whacking these boys in. Another seasoning that would go great actually in this batter is our new pokemi. That would actually be beautiful with these flavours. The whole idea was to use that, but we've run out because you guys brought it all. So keep an eye out for more of that coming soon. Ooh. Ah! I don't want to do this anymore. This is scary. Ah! Coming hot out. Popping. We've got all our mushrooms. They've been soaked in this napkin because they are quite oily. Learn from my mistakes. Deep fry. Crunchy though. Now, I added too much soda water in the end there to try and extend my batter, which is why it started flicking up everywhere. So don't do that. Stick to a nice thick batter. That way you're not going to get water and oil popping everywhere. Anyway, we've made a mess. Let's grab a little plate. If you check these out, see how it's all gone all puffy and crunchy. Probably smaller bits is the way to go. We've got some big boys here. Aioli, the sriracha mayo would be great as well, but if we serve that in hot nuts, that'd be beautiful served in that. Literally any sauce you want. I'll just do those two for now because it's going to garnish the top. Bit of spring onion. Sprinkle some of that over. Beautiful. Look at that. Bit more man grind. And I'm actually going to sprinkle some TikTok on as well. And there you have it. Some tempura mushrooms. And I'll serve it up with the hot nuts and some aioli. So check out that nice coat. Beauty. Thanks to Tony for throwing us those mushrooms. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the rest of your Friday and give this a crack. See you next week.
Hey guys, so been kind of dumped in the deep end with the mushroom challenge because Vaughn doesn't like mushrooms, so didn't want to do the challenge. But we've got these gorgeous mushrooms that we're going to use, and we're going to make a really quick mushroom ramen out of the Keeper's book. So it's supposed to be with pork belly. I don't have pork belly, so we're just going to go full vegetarian today. Got pot on, that's just coming to the boil with some water to to soft boil the eggs and the noodles. And then I've got another pot here, and we're going to start off with some sesame oil, and we're going to sweat down some ginger and garlic, about a tablespoon and a half, just on like a low medium heat. And you want like a tablespoon around about, maybe a little bit more of each of the ginger and the garlic. Kind of sweat down a bit, it's starting to, you can smell it cooking off. We're going to go in with some of the new wok sauce homemade mix, about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce and a teaspoon of mirin. You can always find all of the soy sauce and the mirin in like the international section, but about 100 mils of the wok sauce. Just going to go in, again just like simmer that off. I'm going to add a little bit of miso paste as well, not much. You don't need it, but it's just nice to have in. About a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more. This will make enough for like a family of 4, I would say. But you could add pork belly, you could add chicken, you could add tofu. So just let that simmer away for like 2 or 3 minutes. If you've got the miso paste, you just want to make sure it's broken up. Then we're going to go in with a litre and a half of stock. I'm using vegetable just to keep it vegetarian. Cool. So this one's come to the simmer now. You can kind of
just set there. And so what we're going to do is, got some dried shiitake mushrooms that I just found in the supermarket. You could use porcini or even the mixed ones. We're going to add, this is 40 grams. We're going to add about half, so like 20 grams of the dried mushrooms, and let them cook away, and then just leave it going uncovered for like 15 minutes to let the mushrooms soften and cook, and then the flavour to infuse into the broth. We're also going to add chipotle salt at this point as well. We're going to add about like a good pinch. Cool. So the broth has been on the boil for about 10 minutes or so. So while that finishes off, we're going to chuck an egg in the boiling water and just soft boil it. I tend to do 6 minutes, but you can do 7 to get the nice like jammy yolk. And then in here, we're going to start adding some of the fresh mushrooms just so that they're cooked and everything. So we've got some of the grey oyster mushrooms are going to go in, and some of the pink oyster mushrooms. The pink ones I've kind of cut up a bit just to give a bit of texture, give that a stir, and just let them simmer. Probably turn the heat down a little bit at this point so it's not like over boiling. I also have some Enoki mushrooms, but they're much smaller, so I'm going to wait till the end to kind of finish them. Cool, so the egg's been in there for 6 minutes. I'm going to take it out, I'm going to chuck it in some ice water. Keep the pot going. I'm going to get some, I've got fresh egg noodles that I've just cut. It came in a bag like that. You can get them from like New World or Pack and Save and that kind of thing. If you can't get fresh, dried ramen noodles are fine. Just going to put that one in there for a couple of minutes until it starts to break up. At the same time, I'm going to put a little bit of bok choy in with the mushrooms and let that cook down and break up a little bit. Noodles are cooked. I've just drained them off and put them in the bottom of the bowl. I've pulled out some of the oyster mushrooms and the bok choy, so it's just looking like that at the moment. The egg is cooked. I'm gonna grab the enoki mushrooms, these ones, just a little bit, and just put them kind of on top there, because when we pour the hot liquid, which is still kind of simmering away, it'll kind of cook them enough without overcooking them. So I'm just gonna ladle, and you'll get some more of the like dried mushrooms. Pour that one in. It's a soup, so you wanna get a decent amount. So I've got it filled to about there. Gonna go in with our soft boiled egg, nice and jammy. And there, just got some spring onion to go on top, some thinly sliced seaweed sheets, like nori. And then I'm gonna go in the top with a little bit of TikTok. You could use, if you've got an addicts pack, you could use the poke me. There, done.
Today's challenge was brought to you by Fat Guy Fungi, Bay of Plenty's premium grower of mushrooms, experienced in supplying quality mushrooms to restaurants and the general public. Now enjoy today's challenge.